Welcome back to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I am the Drunk Linux User. And today, a couple things. First of all, oops. And I'm going to change some of my advice from before. I did put Unity on Linux Mint. Originally, I had it on XFCE, but that didn't work out too good, apparently. I had put in a piece of software I was going to showcase and then decided I didn't want to, and then realized it brought in a whole bunch of Ubuntu and GNOME software and such, and then all of a sudden I couldn't close Windows using the buttons. I had to use different kinds of methods to close the browsers and everything, so it was just a mess. I took it off. I decided, okay, shoot, I'm going to do it. It's not exactly what I said. I tried Manjaro again. I tried it with GNOME. I tried it with KDE, and I tried it with XFCE. And my system just does not like it, period. I tried using the new, just because I thought, well, what the heck? I mean, I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. I was going to use the new version of EndeavorOS, but it didn't want to install all the way, which was really weird, and I don't know why that is. So I went back to my trusty Linux Mint. I downloaded Cinnamon. I put in all my applications the way I wanted to, and I put in all the programs that I wanted, and boom, worked perfectly. And everything seems to be a lot more solid, and some of the things that I was hoping that I could get where I didn't have to pull in all of GNOME are already in Linux Mint Cinnamon. Go figure. I suppose if I would have done just maybe a little bit more research, I would have known that, but who'd have thought? I had actually seen the description on how to put Unity on Linux Mint by using XFCE. Oh, wow. XFCE. But the problem being is that just because I saw that one video doesn't mean that that should have been the gold standard. And the reason that I think XFCE may have had some problems was that it doesn't already have some of those GNOME dependabilities baked in, even through Linux Mint. I know this is a long story to say. I'm sorry that I may have turned you guys onto XFCE for Linux Mint. To put Unity on, try it with Cinnamon. I think you'll enjoy it a lot better. However, if you like XFCE, keep it. Like I said before, it's not bad. I just don't like the screen tearing on it. Okay, enough of that crap. I learned Linux on my own. I think a lot of people who put Linux on their computers are people who like to experiment and like to try different things, and I'm no exception to that rule, and you might not be either. I mean, it's kind of why you're watching. It's either that or to find out where I screw up the most, and hey, you learned today I screw up. So I found some sites over the years that actually gave me a lot of information, and sometimes I just have to use the search engines and go find it. But today I thought what I would do is I would show you some of the places that I go to where I get the what I consider to be the best information. So we're going to start with OMG Ubuntu. Oh my God, Ubuntu. Joey Sneeden, boy, he has been running this thing for a long, long time. And don't let the Ubuntu thing, scare you away. This site has information about all kinds of software, what is going on with Ubuntu and the different flavors of Ubuntu and the different derivatives of Ubuntu as well. So you can see he's got EndeavorOS on here and Linux Mint. So he goes through an awful lot of information. There are comment sections if you want to, read what people have said. And he has different sections like on hardware, tutorials, the different distros. And I've tried all of those except Regolith. Regolith is not for me. Let's just put it that way. Instead of having individual windows like this, you basically tile all your windows. It's sort of like what they used to do in large-scale computing before. You didn't have individual windows like this that floated. You had, set areas. I'm getting way off track here, but basically, this is the first place I go to in the morning when I sit down with my mug o' coffee and want to find out what's going on. Now, he doesn't have something up every day, but damn near every day, and he has some great commentary on here. So check out OMG Ubuntu.co.uk. All of these websites, I'll put the links in the description so that you can check them out later. The next one is 9 to 5 Linux. This is really good. I don't think the developer of this site is actually probably getting the viewership he deserves, or she. I'm not real. I think it's a he. But again, like OMG Ubuntu, his website, or this website, I'll just go with this website. This website gives you a lot of the same kind of information that OMG does, but sometimes from a way, way different perspective, and we'll deal with certain pieces of software that OMG won't. There's also tutorials as well if you want to learn how to do something just like OMG and some of these others I'm going to show you. If you just click on the link and go to the website, the tutorials category, how can you install KDE Plasma 522 on Ubuntu? Just a lot of great information, and so this is another website I highly recommend, is 9 to 5 Linux. The next one is Make Tech Easier. This has not only Linux, it has Mac, it has Windows, it has Android, it has iOS. This is another great website to go to get some information, and it's very well laid out. All of these actually are very, very easy to read and to find your way around and see and get to the point, get to the places and the things that you want to know the most about right away. So that is MakeTechEasier.com. Another great site, really. All these really great sites. I guess I should just stop saying that, but it's true. They're all really great sites. The next one is GHacks.net. This one is different in that it's not all about the flashy images, on the top page where you're going to here, but you can see that this is dealing with everything from Windows to Linux, Chrome. I'm not really seeing much in the way of Mac here, but if you want to find out what's going on in either one of those two worlds, then come here. Now as you scroll down, you'll see that there's more of the categories. Like for Windows, you'll see images of what they have. So when you go to the website, you'll see some of these images. Linux, you can click right here on the category. It'll show you everything, or you can just take a look at these. So these are the articles that they're highlighting in Linux, and this is talking about Linux Mint 20.2 that was released not too long ago. And as you can see, flat. Bane of my existence. Everything went flat. Anyway, getting back to the websites. The next one is called It's FOSS. Free open source software. And this is another really, really good site. This one has a lot on Linux. There's a lot of tutorials on here. I don't necessarily, like all of these websites, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that are put in on a personal level. That's up to the individual that's writing their websites and how they want to present themselves. That's fine. So basically what I'm saying is I'm promoting the information on these websites, not necessarily the commentary. I guess that's going to be my legal description, so you can't come back and say, he's a fascist. I'm not. And don't even call me a Nazi. So the next one is by the same people, and it's called news.itsfoss.com. More in depth, I think. You can find some just really, really, really great articles here. They're catching up. This one started recently, and it's a spin-off from the other page that I showed you. But great content and worth going to. I kind of messed that up, sorry. So bring it back in. The next one is called FOSSlinux.com. This one doesn't get updated as quickly as some of these others, but the information on here is amazingly good, like swappiness in Linux, everything you need to know. This is, I mean, if you want to just go from just a little bit of knowledge to a lot, which, you know, that's more than a lot, especially in terabyte size. But anyway, go to FOSS Linux. There are great articles here if you want to learn more about what you're actually running on your computer, if you're interested. Next website is OStechnics, and this one is very I would say this is probably for more intermediate to advanced, although there are some beginner tutorials in here as well. I have learned a lot from this website, that's for sure. So take a look at OStechnics. They don't deal with just Ubuntu's and Linux mints and stuff like that. You can see they also do Red Hat Linux. They talk about different kinds of software. It's worth it. Go there. I insist. How to Geek. This is another one of those great websites where it doesn't just talk about one particular platform. It talks about a lot of different kinds. There's Windows and Google and things along that line. Linux. Great articles on here. You can learn a lot from this website. Another one where between How to Geek and Make Tech Easier, I've learned how to do things like build what's called a desktop file, a .desktop file, and how to use them, how to set them up so that if I have a program that doesn't like to show up in a menu, I can make it my own way. And these are great sites to learn things like that from, and more, much more. The next website is called Noobs Lab. Always makes me think of something different. This one also does not get updated quite as frequently, but there are really wonderful articles in here. So if you're running an office or a hybrid office or anything like that, or want to, or how to choose a laptop for your career needs, things like that. This is more on like a small office kind of website. It does a really great job of putting together some great information. So noobslab.com. And the next one is FOSSbytes.com. And this is basically everything free and open source software, and implications from other major players like Microsoft and Apple. And so this has got some great information about what's going on in the tech world right now. Next site is LinuxHint. What happened to our website? There it is. Okay. This one, if you really want to start, that was fun. If you really want to start digging into your into your Linux box, this is a great website to do that with. So go to linuxhint.com. There is a lot to learn in so many different avenues. So if you're interested in Docker, if you're interested in SSH or anything, honestly, it's a great resource. Next one is called linuxuprising.com. This one is again not as fast, but it does update fairly consistently and regularly. Great reviews on software. This is going to be about Linux, so you're not going to have to worry about trying to wade through it, the weeds to get to anything Linux around all the Windows and Mac and iOS and whatever. So good website, really good website, as I've said before. Now, if you're interested in finding out what kind of distributions are available and what's come out and what their rankings are right now, there's this place called DistroWatch, DistroWatch.com. Distro short for distribution. Watch is, how are we looking today? In the middle over here, you'll see the most recent distribution releases that they're highlighting. On the right-hand side, you'll see which are the largest contenders right now. This is very interesting. At one time, Linux Mint used to be like 1 and 2. And then MX Linux came around, and boy, it shot to the top real quick. I've tried this. I don't really have anything against it. It just doesn't work well on my machine. It's the only reason why I don't use it. It's good. It's solid. Manjaro, that's an Arch derivative of Linux. Really, really nice. There's something new about Arch, I'd say, in the last probably 4 or 5 months that just doesn't like my system all that well, so I had to ditch it and go back over to a Debian-based distribution, which is why I chose Linux Mint. EndeavorOS. This is where it gets interesting. Endeavor used to be put out by another name, and you know what? I feel really stupid because I can't remember what it used to be called. And I when they first were out, I was all over this because I thought it was so great. Oh my gosh! Started with Antergos right there. Antergos was great. It was. I'll tell you what, the developers for that were amazing. A lot of us were sad to see it go, and some of the community was so passionate about keeping this alive that they started up their own with the permission of the Antergos team to create EndeavorOS, and they've taken it a little bit differently. It's not a hold your hands kind of setup with Arch, but it doesn't leave you stranded with nothing. Okay, you can start using this almost right away. And when I say almost right away, after it installs, within about 10 minutes, you're working. You're not just trying to figure out where everything is. You're working. So this is a great distribution right here. And kudos to them. I've been watching them move up the ranks, and they are now at number 3. I remember when they came in at number 13. So for them to move up this far is really, really great. And of course, Linux Mint. This used to be, the top dog, and it's not so much that it's fallen out of favor. I think people are just discovering the others, and probably with newer machines, these other operating systems are probably running better than on my old ancient Acer. Okay, so. But this is really cool because you get to take a look at, like, if you wanted to find out what Garuda was all about, you just click on it and it'll give you some information on this particular distribution. Give you some, a little picture here. It gives you the website and where to go to, the forums, all that stuff. There's even the place for comments. You can find out, when it was released, and so this is a really handy page if you're just interested in trying to find out what distributions are available. Whenever I put a Linux distribution in, and it doesn't matter if it's Arch or if it's a Debian-based distribution, I go to this website. It's a blog spot. I don't remember where this used to be. I know that they had to change this over to Blogspot because I think the servers got taken down wherever they were. But if you want to do things like, it's just easier if I do it this way. Search for SSD. What I do, the first thing I do is I go in and I come here. And I start doing things like setting up a daily timer because I have an SSD drive. And in Linux, there isn't, what do they call it in Windows, where you defragment. You don't defragment in Linux at all. You don't need to. The file system keeps track of everything. you don't have to worry about, read-write issues and whatnot. Sorry about that. So I just follow the directions on this website, and for example, there's ways in here to how to be able to trim the SSD manually, the commands that you would put in there. So I'll use that. It's open up a terminal, you just cut and paste. You find what you need and what you can work with. Okay. Change the swappiness on. You can use this. It doesn't matter if it's Debian or if it's Arch. You can put this in the file called SYSCTL. I think it stands for System Control, and it's a configuration file .conf. Just go to the bottom of the page, paste that in, restart your computer, and your SSD will last a lot longer because it's not reading and writing as often as it. I mean, it really doesn't need to have up to 60 anyway. How to change Firefox around so that you're not using so much of your SSD drive, and something called Noah time that is necessary for SSD drives. So anyway, easylinuxproject.blogspot.com. Awesome wealth of information. You can just search through. You go back to the home page and you can see the bullet points for all the, as you're going down the list here. Why, how, do these things first when you install Cinnamon, and this works with Ubuntu as well. And like I said, many other different flavors of Linux. So after I get everything updated on my computer, this is where I come next. This is before I even put any applications on my computer. I go to this website first. Okay. The last page is nothing but fun. It's called gnome-look.org. And the reason you're not just stuck on this. If you click over here, you can see from the drop down, there's Cinnamon, Enlightenment, GNOME, KDE, Mate, XFCE, there's wallpapers, there's window managers, all kinds of stuff. Basically, this is just to try to make your computer look prettier if you think that what you have is rather humdrum, dry, and for example, this is kind of a cool icon pack. If you click on it, it'll take you to the website for this particular product, and these are free. Okay, if you want to, you want to support the effort gone into the work here, then you can always throw a bone their way. But this is going really slow. Like I've mentioned once before, if you're trying to videotape on an old processor on 2 monitors, and you're trying to do some web work at the same time with multiple tabs open, boy, the RAM and the usage just goes through the roof. But you can see this is like one icon pack. Man, I think I probably just shot myself in the foot by doing this, but I'm going to go back to the home page again. You can change the different themes, so you can change how the Windows looks. You can change how the cursor looks. You can change the icons. You can find new wallpapers for yourself. It's if you like a more darker look, you can go with something like that. These are regularly updated, by the way. A lot of the developers they get feedback from the people who've downloaded them, and they'll fix whatever's wrong and try again. Always try again till you can find something you like. As you may have seen by a lot of these pictures, a lot of them are modern, which means what? They're flat. Yeah. Everything's flat. Everything's flat. There are some that are not, but everything's flat. So, like I said, this is fun, and you can just take your time. There's categories over here you can go to as well. So, if you just wanted to take a look at the themes, for example, without having to go through all the icons, just select the category, and it'll give you the that section to look at only. So these are the websites that I typically go to for software, and learning about Linux. And since I'm using Unity, there are very, very few themes for Unity. There are some. I even have some installed. I've tried them. I don't care for them all that well. I just don't think that it renders as well. I like the ambience look, so for me, I stick with what came out of the box. I didn't plan that, but this is a really good time for me to stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and ramble for a very, very long time. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank you once again for stopping by the Drunk Linux User, what do you call this, blog? And I'm going to tell you to take care of yourselves. I should also probably tell you that you should drink responsibly. Don't drive drunk. Don't be on your computer, especially on eBay or Amazon, inebriated or whatever you do. You'll buy all sorts of crap that you didn't intend to, and then you're stuck with it. What other things can I say? I can say I've enjoyed sharing this with you. I'm on Rumble now, by the way. I'm on Rumble. So if you're interested in, or if you want to find me over there, go to Rumble. And our sign off is, as it always will be, bottoms up. Later, dudes. Adult beverages.